Hello and welcome to our extended disc mini webinar. Today is our special summer series focusing on the sales capacity assessment suite. And the report we are focusing on today is specifically the hiring report. It's one of our full reports that we're going to be focusing on today. And as with all reports, I would say this one is one of our more popular. It just people are getting used to it. So I asked Marku to come today just to kind of give you an intro to the report, how to interpret it. But again, very intuitive, we'll talk about it. As always, I forget to introduce myself. My name is Christina Bowser, and I'm the training director here at Extended Disc. And as I had mentioned, I've asked my colleague, Marku Kauppinen, president of Extended Disc, to join me today. Hi, Marku.
Hi, Christina. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you all. So we will be recording this in case you miss any of this or you want to share it with your colleagues. It will be on our YouTube channel. Just look for Extended Disc North America. Because it's 15 minutes, we won't have time for live questions, but go ahead and put your questions in the questions section. And if we do have time, we'll follow up. Otherwise, I promise you we'll follow up after. Did I miss anything, Marku?
Good job. You got it all. Okay,
so let's go ahead and talk about the sales capacity assessment, which you'll hear us from here on out try to say SCA, just for short, the hiring report.
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about the hiring report. How is it different or similar to any of the other reports that are available?
Well, kind of the big picture, Christine and everybody, is that sales capacity assessment is a different assessment tool that is not based on the DISC model. However, everything with all of our assessments is on that same famous Finks platform. So if you're using DISC or sales capacity assessment separately or together, everything is in one place. And also with the sales capacity assessment, just like with our DISC assessments, the person has to complete the questionnaire only one time, and then you are able to generate all of the reports, including the hiring report that we are talking about today. So if you in essence, think about the progression of an individual. If you're thinking about hiring a new salesperson, you want to get somebody who will perform really well. Just like a football coach, baseball coach, you are not going to bring a new player to your team unless you understand what is their skill level. And same thing for successful sales managers and sales teams. If you want to bring in a successful sales professional, you really need to have an understanding what is their skill or their competency level in different areas. And what the sales capacity or SCA assessment really looks at is not only the 18 competencies that we are viewing on our screen right now, but many other things that help the sales managers, VPs of sales, or outside sales consultants to help clients to make better hiring decisions. And like Christina, you just mentioned, the report is very, very intuitive. So if we start here with what we call the executive summary, we are looking at the overall scores in a very easy to understand 0 to 100% scale. We can see what their strengths and what their development areas are. So for example, this person, what stands out to me right away is goal orientation, 99%. If that is important for you, that is something you would obviously want to see a high score, Christina. So the idea here is that let's provide information where the strengths are, where the development areas are, so we can make better hiring decisions and bring those top performers to our team.
Exactly. And, you know, with this report that we're presenting today, it's just a reminder to you that we're just highlighting some sections of the report, and the report is much more comprehensive, but this is the executive summary. Another one we wanted to highlight today was the sales roles. And what's great about it is it actually pulls out the top roles for you, right?
That's right, Christina, because if you think of those 18 competencies, which is, like you said, just one part of the report, it might be difficult to say, well, you know, ideally, of course, I want high scores on everything. But what the tool allows you to do is to really look at your sales job and to look at these different sales roles and really provide a bottom line number. What is the match for a different types of sales roles? And clients can do one of two things. One is that they can look at what we call the system roles. There are up to 8 of those. And in if I were to look at this for the first time, like what is sales revealer or sales creator, probably wouldn't make much sense. But trust me, everything is very clearly defined in there, looking at the sales role, not only from a perspective of where the client is coming from, but things like how long is the sales process, even things like how long is the relationship with the salesperson and client after sale. Now, I think what the clients are more excited about, Christina, is that clients can actually go through a process very easily to identify, hey, we understand what our sales role is. How do we convert these different competencies and other things that the tool measure? And we can create what that should, the kind of a superstar, the Superman, Superwoman, what should that look like? And you can create your own role. And once you've done it, you get the same percentage match. So you can look at different candidates. Hey, this person got 80%, this person only got 30%. Certainly that would be a valuable piece of information to make those better hiring decisions.
What's nice is, what you see in front of you is very, simple and easy to understand. However, the tip we always recommend is, to put a little bit of work up front. As Markku was talking about, learn what those sales roles are. And then there's only 8, so there's not that many. And then look and see how well it matches up to your own organizational roles. And then that way it's just, you just open the page and you're like, that's a match. That's what we're looking for, sales revealer. So it just makes it really easy on if you do a little bit of work up front.
In fact, when you go through that, and it's a very easy process, and I'm not going to go into details here, but I promise you in a few minutes, you can go through it. And our system roles, you may have people who say, hey, this is the role we are looking for. So let's ignore all the other 7. Exactly. Really what we are focusing on is that, let's say, sales innovator. That is what we are selling. That's what our sales really looks like with our world, looking at our clients, looking at our product and service. So then you can do that. Or of course, like I mentioned, you can create your own role and say, let's calculate the percentage match for each candidate and use that figure, that percentage, as a part of our decision-making process. Of course, you want to look at other things, the experience, education, all of those things will go into that decision-making process, but this certainly will really give you quantifiable information when it comes to their sales competencies. What are their skill level? Where are they right now? So you can make those more confident and more successful decisions.
Right. So sales role, very simple to understand page. Now, don't be intimidated by the next page, but once you understand it, I promise you it's very easy to read. It just looks like there's a lot of stuff on this page, but it all makes sense. So Markku, can you talk about this one that specifically focuses on the sales dealer?
Yeah, this looks at one of those roles, and of course you could have your own role here, but again, nobody is perfect. So ideally we get a perfect match for all of these 18 competencies and what we are looking for. It's just not going to happen, unfortunately. In an ideal world, it happens all the time. In the real world, it rarely, or really actually never happens. But here we can break down those 18 competencies and really understand where we are with this candidate. Do they have a good match for that competency and what we are looking for? Like if you look at the bottom half of the page, maybe 1/3 of the bottom of the page, like qualifying and building rapport, here we have a good match with this candidate. But we also have situations where the person is too skillful or too competent with a competency. And you may think, why is that a problem? Well, the problem is that they are so good at it, that they're so comfortable with it, that they tend to overdo it. That we tend to, and if you think about your own behavior, there are certain behaviors, so some parts of our day that we really enjoy, and we want to focus more on that. And while we do well in that area, we begin to overlook some of the other important areas. And that's the story we are reading here. And then there's some other areas that are a challenge. For example, gaining trust for this person. So it's not something that really have the skill set, the competency level right now that we would want them to have, but that's something that we can either develop, or maybe there are too many things that are a challenge and we decide that all other things being equal, this person may not be the best person for us to hire at this time. And we may want to look at some other candidates or continue our search to find who is really the right person for this job.
What I really like about this page is, you know, of the 8 roles that you saw on the previous page, it was like a summary. It still gives you that same percentage. So, you know, this is a pretty good match for this person's sales dealer. But then it breaks it down further, you know, where it actually describes what a sales dealer is, and then where it falls in the sales role spectrum. And then, as Marku was alluding to, how it matches up to the 18 competencies. So this page has a lot of good information. And what's great is there are 8 of these pages, right? 1 per sales role.
1 for each role. If we determine that we really want to use all those 8 roles, like I mentioned earlier, maybe it's only 1 or 2 that we think are the ones that we need. So then we can ignore the others. And frankly, what happens, Christina, is that when whoever the hiring manager is, when they look at this page a couple of times, yes, it provides that reference material, that information that I can refer to when I need to, but very quickly, the managers, the experience has shown, they know what to look for. So they go a couple of places. So it's not time consuming or something that is difficult to do. Very intuitive, very quick. And again, one important piece in the decision-making process of hiring those sales superstars.
Exactly. So I think we have one more section we wanted to highlight, and that is the wonderful excuse index.
Yeah, again, you know, I can't say enough about excuse index, and this is my personal bias because we all make excuses, and salespeople are no different. And what the excuse index provides us is really a bottom line number to understand how much focus and how much time a salesperson is going to invest in being focused on activities that will actually bring sales results. And because an excuse index, we don't want to see high excuses. So the lower the number is, the better it is. So for this person, our friend Sam Sample, 25%, actually it's a pretty good number because the average worldwide varies. There's some variances, but worldwide is roughly 35%. But what that number really means is that when Sam has a score of 25%, it means that they're spending 75% of their time on activities that are focusing on sales results. 25% they're doing something else, might be necessary responsibilities, filling out reports, whatever those tasks are, or it might be some other fluff time, you know, Facebook, social media, looking at the news, something that we want to do something else rather than making those calls, prospecting, other important things. We all do that, and this actually quantifies how likely we are to do that. You want this number to be a low, so this is a good indicator. This is the number I look at the first to really understand where this person is right now when it comes to their sales activities, their behaviors, and their competencies.
Right, and as Marku said, this is another page that once you have kind of become familiarized with it, and it's usually very quickly you just zero in on that number. You know, if you need more information, it has the text that describes what this 25% actually means and how this person tends to show up. But, you know, after a while, you just zero in on the number, which is great.
Yeah, and there's one more actually. If you go, there's like questions. Remember that section?
Yes, thank you.
Yes. So here, okay, this is, I've been in this situation. Busy day. I remember, my appointment for my next interview is coming. And I really see an excuse index here. I may making excuses. Why didn't I prepare for this interview? Well, this tool will help you to have those specific revealing questions for you to ask. For all of those 18 competencies, here we are looking at just 3 of those 18: prospecting, qualifying, building rapport. These questions are not just standard questions that you ask everybody. These questions are designed based on the candidate scores. It makes it very easy. Of course, you want to prepare too and do your homework, but this will be a very, very valuable tool for you to ask those specific questions to get more information from the applicant so you can be more confident in making the right decision.
Excellent. Thank you for reminding me too.
No worries.
All right. So hopefully that gave you a great introduction. Right, that's a slip, into the hiring report. If you're interested in trying out the hiring report or taking a look at it, feel free to contact us at info@extendeddis.org. We are busy with webinars this week. So we have 2 tomorrow. One is on adjusting our style to improve interactions. And if you need HRCI or SHRM recertification units, you get 1 for just attending. How great is that? And we also have, Marku and I will be doing the S-Style overview. So that's a continuation of our DIS Styles introduction series. So I highly recommend you join us to kind of get some insight on the S-Style. And in terms of the next SECA webinar we have the Team Competence Summary Report, a great report for managers to look at their own sales team. And that's on Tuesday, August 25th.
Yeah, a week from today. Yeah, a week from today. And we have a lot of other webinars coming the rest of the month, throughout the rest of the summer and fall. So go to extendedis.org, click on the top right-hand corner, look for the events tab, click on there, and you see all of those upcoming webinars and other events. As I always say, please be sure to register, even if you can't make the date or time, because we will email you the link for the recording just a couple of days after the webinar, so you can listen to it at your convenience, and then you can share it with others who you think would benefit from the content. So be sure to do that.
All right. Thank you guys all for joining us today, and have a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you, Christina. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, Marku.